Yesterday, there was a big announcement or big rumors spreading that RFK Jr. might be dropping out, might be endorsing you. His spokesperson said they will give a live address tomorrow about his path forward. And now there are rumors that he might join you at this rally in Arizona tomorrow to announce that he's supporting you. What's the truth? Have you talked to him?
So I've known him for a long time. He's as you know, he's a little different kind of a guy. Very smart guy. He's a very good person. If he endorsed me, I would be honored by it.
Y'all, it's getting real right here because RFK is potentially going to be dropping out and potentially endorsing Donald J. Trump. Fox News, right? Trump says he would be honored by RFK Jr.'s endorsement, says Democrats treated him very badly. Now, we need to go to this conversation he had with Fox News where he called in to give his kind of thoughts on what he thinks about the situation, because it's a win-win for Donald J. Trump if he gets RFK Jr.'s endorsement. Now, he's got a lot of voters who are with him. May not be as much as Donald Trump or Joe Biden has, but that's enough to turn the tide, guys. Let's go.
President, yesterday there was a big announcement or big rumors spreading that RFK Jr. might be dropping out, might be endorsing you. His spokesperson said they will give a live address tomorrow about his path forward. And now there are rumors that he might join you at this rally in Arizona tomorrow to announce that he's supporting you. What's the truth? Have you talked to him?
So I've known him for a long time. He's as you know, he's a little different kind of a guy. Very smart guy. He's a very good person. If he endorsed me, I would be honored by it. I would be very honored by it. He really has his heart in the right place. He is a respected person. Women love some of his policies, and I guess some people don't like some of his policies. But overall, I thought the Democrats, he was a Democrat. I don't know what he is right now, but he was a Democrat. They treated him very badly. I think he would have, he goes around saying he would have beaten Biden in the primary. I think there was a good chance. What they did to him was what they did to Biden. They really were harsh and threw him out. They wouldn't let him go to the vote. I mean, they made it impossible for him to compete in primaries because he was doing so well. And they basically made it impossible for him to do what I think he would have been successful. I think he would have overthrown Biden because Biden is so bad as a president. When I hear this talk about Mount Rushmore, I turn off your television. If I have to read an article, I just throw it down. Mount Rushmore for this man who is the worst president in our history. He's allowed, and she is, because she was the border czar. Now she disowns that. She's allowed millions of people to come into our country, many of these people totally unchecked, totally unvetted. Many of these people came into our country, think of this, from prisons and jails,
right,
from mental institutions and insane asylums. And, Brian, there's many terrorists coming in,
there's no doubt
terrorists.
about it. There's 99 on the FBI watch list that are in our country right now.
Now, that should be shaking them in their boots because 5 or 10% of people who may or may not have been voting for RFK Jr., RFK endorses Trump. Next thing you know, they might be voting for Trump. Now, that's not 100%. That hasn't came out saying that, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to endorse Trump. But they're making it seem like that's what they potentially going to do. Maybe it's just a tactic to scare the Democrats into believing that they're going to be actually doing that. RFK Jr.'s running mate says Democrats obstructed a fair election, fully supports working with Trump. Now, here's Nicole Shanahan, who she's speaking with Fox News about this potential endorsement because Donald could use it to definitely defeat Joe Biden in the next election coming up in November. Let's watch.
Made some big news today, talking about the Kennedy-Shanahan ticket. Does it stay in the race, Nicole? What are your thoughts on that?
It's Bobby's decision. I came into this supporting him wholeheartedly to win this election. And I have to say there's only one party that has obstructed a fair election for us. And unfortunately, it was the Democratic Party. They've done everything they can, including creating PACs to prevent us from being able to have ballot access.
Yeah, it's interesting because you were saying that you could stay in and run the risk of Kamala Harris win, or you could walk and you could join forces with Donald Trump. When you say join forces, Nicole, what do you mean specifically?
Well, this idea of a unity party, an idea of us coming around these principles of fighting for liberty in this country, fighting for our children's health. We have the worst chronic health crisis in the world right now. Over 50% of children are diagnosed with some chronic disease. This is unconscionable.
Yeah.
And we are willing to work with anyone who is sincere in their endeavor to fix and address this issue.
Do you believe the Trump campaign and Trump himself is sincere? Do you see a home? You talk about this as being Bobby's decision. Do you see a home for RFK Jr. in the Trump administration, Health and Human Services, something to that extent?
I would fully support it. I would fully support a strong partnership dedicated to this issue. A lot of people comment that in his first term he didn't accomplish many of the things that mothers really were hoping he would do. Made some big mistakes around the pandemic. However, I think that he is sincere.
Yeah,
I do.
Now that's big news right there. Huge news that we got the running mate for RFK Jr. saying that, hey, this is a great idea. We actually think this is something we could potentially do. And if we do this, we're talking 5-10%, like I'm saying, going to Donald J. Trump, which is a tremendous number. We're talking 400 million people in America. 10% of that, massive. Now I want to go to something very interesting because Chris Cuomo snuck in to the DNC and had some words to say about these donors and the people at the ground floor. And it's a stark difference, real big difference. Take a look from Colin Rugg. Chris Cuomo gave the best speech of the night on day 3 of the DNC, and it wasn't from the stage. Cuomo ripped Democrats for lying to their voters while wealthy donors are sitting in $1 million suites above them at the DNC. Looking at the ring of suites, this is not unique to Democrats. This is a game of money. When people talk about uniparty, we're strangled by the money reality in our politics. Those suites start at 500 grand. Oh my God, 500 grand. You think there's like a teacher group up there? There ain't no teacher group. Do you know how much money Harris has raised in the last couple of weeks? Hundreds of millions. A lot of it's small donors and a lot of it isn't. The most dangerous money in politics is now legal money. The idea that they can fight against it is almost laughable. So look and listen when you're told these things, because I don't care what they promise you. Yeah, it's a huge difference when you got people who are donating millions of dollars to a campaign who are supposed to be saying, hey, we're going to tax you guys and we're going to price gouge your companies and we're going to force you into submission. But they turn around and they give Kamala all this money and it makes you think something else is going on. Are they really telling the truth? That's what I want to know. If so, why are they giving them so much money to fund their campaign?
A big theme here at the DNC is that they're going to go after corporate gouging, and they're going to go after corporations, whether it's in taxes, largesse, loopholes. The RNC, we heard the same thing. They're going after the elites, the 2 sets of rules. Let me reveal a reality to you that has to be spoken to here, okay? These are the soldiers. These are the men and the women that go back to their constituencies and their communities, and they fight. They take time from their jobs. They take time from their families. Republicans and Democrats alike, that's what they do. They need to charge these people up. They need to be able to get them on board. But there's another reality that is literally looking down on them. Greg, look at the ring of suites, okay? This is not unique to Democrats. There is a game of money. When people talk about uniparty, we are strangled by the money reality in our politics. Those suites start at 500 grand. You think there's like a teacher group up in there? You think it's like the Cub Scouts of Columbia County, South Carolina, that's up in those boxes? Some of them are lobbies and good things. The media boxes, you think they're free? Why do you think I'm on the floor? News Nation is not a broke company. Nexstar is a massive organization. We are corporate media. We don't have one of those boxes because that's the game. You pay to play. Those boxes are filled with the same people that they say they're going to regulate. They are literally looking down on the faithful and being told, yeah, we're going to break down on them. We're going to make them pay their share. They paid $500, $700, $1 million, $1.5 million to have those seats. They get hotel suites that are probably gifted to the party. And the same thing is true at the Republican side. And they're going to take them down. They're going to change how it is. They are looking down from on high at the people who make the difference in their communities. And that is the reality of politics. And I had my producer walk around and show you those suites. Now, they're not all the same. They're not all the same. But the reality is, in 2000, they spent $300 million on presidential campaigns. 24 years later, you know what they're expected to spend? $10 billion. Do you know how much money Harris has raised in the last couple of weeks? Hundreds of millions. And that's success. A lot of it's small donor, a lot of it isn't. The most dangerous money in politics is now legal money because of Citizens United. You've got to know this. The idea that they can fight against it is almost laughable. It's almost laughable. So look and listen when you are told these things. Because I don't care what they promise you. Not here tonight, not at the RNC, not that Trump knows them, not that they don't own them. He did one of the biggest fundraisers I've ever heard of in my life out where I live. Millions of dollars a plate. That's the reality of politics.
You know, I'm pretty proud of Chris Cuomo because he's came a long way. He used to not be able to say what he wanted to say. He kind of was, put in a place between the hard rock with his company that he worked for, and now at this other place where he can kind of do what he wants to do and say what he wants to say without too much pushback. I'm sure it's still a news network, so he still has something he's got to follow, some sort of guidelines, policies, etc. But he really told the truth right here, and it just makes me proud because he came out there and was like, hey, folks, this is nothing normal about this money game here, this legal money game that's got the hold on these elections here, all these lobbyists, these big corporations funding these campaigns, etc. It should be about the small people throwing small donations. That's how you get your candidate up there. We shouldn't be relying on these massive corporations and ultra-rich, wealthy elite to get their people into office. That's not how it's meant to be. I mean, look at the penthouse suite. Who can afford this right now? I know I can't. I can't even afford the cheapest one. Penthouse suite, $500K. Club level suite, $1 million, 1.5. Lower level suite, 2.5. 2 lower level suites, $5 million. I can't afford that. I cannot afford that at all. Where's the $100 suite at? I can afford that. Maybe $500 if I'm getting crazy. But that's pretty much where it caps off at. Where the people at the lower level, bottom base floor suites at? Well, they get to sleep in their car or something like that. And get told to get out of the parking lot. You're taking too much time by the security. But not these folks. These folks probably got armed security. They get escorted back and forth, yada, yada, yada. But Kamala's supposed to be coming after them, right? Oh, I'm going to price gouge the rich, these rich corporations. They got all the loopholes, yada, yada, yada. Trump's going to help them, etc. If that was the truth, they would not have these penthouses at these prices because they know if they pay these prices, they're going to fund her campaign and actually turn around and help them. You know what I'm saying? A favor for a favor. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm Buzz Brown Conservative. Peace.